Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Lingfield Park here on Saturday. It is the 9th of May, 2026. Gonna look at the stakes action on the program from Lingfield, but before I get on to that, remember to follow me on X at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And also join me today for my Peter Pan preview from Aqueduct Belmont the Big A. It's the local prep race basically for the Belmont Stakes here, and it's a good card for all the other stakes races at Aqueduct. So I hope you check that preview out. And also join me tomorrow for my French 2000, 1000 guineas preview from Longshot, the Poulines and the Bouliches. But one of my favorite Derby prep races is today at Lingfield. I love the Derby trials here, and they always show up as good races. So we're going to look at them right now. Races 2 and 3 from Lingfield, the 128 and the 158. The 128, the second race from Lingfield. It is the William Hill Oaks Trial Phillies listed stakes. It's a listed Phillies stakes going for $75,000 purse race for 3-year-olds only. Field of 5 horses going the distance of ground here of 2,300 meters or a mile 7/16 on the turf course. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 5 horse Romantic Symphony. I'm going to go 5-4-2 in the TriCash trifecta. 5-4-2 TriCash trifecta. Top selection, 5 horse Romantic Symphony. This 3-year-old Philip by DeBowie here. Godolphin Charlie Appley trains. William Buick getting on this horse for the first time. They ran the horse most recently at Kempton over the mile 3/8 on the 8th of April. Class 3 Fillies novice race. It was the horse's first start since September, and this horse improved a lot, winning by 4.5 lengths from a tracking trip. They said go with her, and she came home clear. That was a very good run. She got a good rating home also. Refreshing here, drawn very well, bred for the trip through and through. I think she could find the trip and improve a lot. She ran on debut in a Class 4 Fillies novice race in Newmarket, 1 mile in the Rolling Mile on the 20th of September of last year. Went by 3/4 in length that day. She stalked it that day with the leaders. She looked like she was going to go down late. She looked like she was yielding, but she found some extra pace. It was a very weirdly run race. She got the job done, but she could have improved a little bit, quicker that day. Or, like I said, it was just a weird run race. Second place finisher out of that thirst was a next start winner, a decent horse there. This horse, she won, but I've seen better, maiden victors. But like I said, into the 3-year-old campaign, when she got the longer trip, which she was bred for through and through, that's where she showed up a lot. She's the kind of horse it looks like it does take her some time to get into stride. She found it last time out. She's refreshing here, drawn well at 7-5. I know it's a crap price, but she's very nice. I think the 4 horse prize land for David Probert and Andrew Balding to win also. This horse ran most recently at Lingfield over the mile and a half in a Class 3 novice race, winning by 8 lengths, basically from the rail. She basically won on a stream tracking trip. When they said go with her, she came home clear. That wasn't the world's toughest race at all, but she still won quite nicely. Prior to that, at Kempton over the mile in late October in a Class 5 Fillies novice race, she won by 1/4 lengths that day. And again, it took her a little bit of time to get in stride also. But she won quite nicely, and then a debut at Leicester over the mile in the Class 4 main race, finishing fourth by 2.25 lengths. She was way out of it early on. She gained a little bit ground late, but it wasn't anything to call home about. I do think she needed the race for experience. It goes up a lot with a longer trip. Coming here at 5-1, second leg of the place pot. Looking for a shot on the ticket, but to recount my selection for the 128, the second race from Lingfield, it's the Oaks Trial. Gonna take the 5 horse Romantic Symphony. Give kudos to the 4 horse Prizeland. I'm gonna go 5-4-2 TriCash trifecta, 5-4 in the multi race. So let's head over to race number 3, the 158 from Lingfield. It is the William Hill Lingfield Derby Trial. It's a listed stakes for Class 1 horses, going for a $75,000 purse. Races for 3-year-olds here. 6 horses are going 2,300 meters or a mile 7/16 about on the turf course, just short of a mile and a half here. My top selection here, I'm going to go 3 horse Bay of Brilliance. I'm going to go 3-5-6 in the TriCash trifecta. 3-5-6 TriCash trifecta. Top selection, 3 horse Bay of Brilliance. This 3-year-old colt by New Bay. Ralph Beckett trains. Hector Crouch gets the mount. They ran the horse most recently at Red Car on the 27th of October. 1,800 meters on yielding ground or a mile and the 8th in the Class 5 novice race. And the horse won by 8.5 lengths. He was 40 cents to the dollar at post that day and had a high weight on his back. But he basically, everybody knew he was going to win, and he ran like a winner. He sat on the front end. When they said go with him, he flew home clear. That was a good run, even with a high handicap that day. He's refreshing here to a longer trip, which he's bred for beautifully through and through. I think he get the job done. He ran two back in a Class 2 maiden race at Goodwood, a mile and a quarter soft ground, 24th of September, and he won by three-quarters length. He had to be used a lot that day. The ground was quite soft, but he moved along late. That was a very good race. He ran on debut over a very short trip, which wasn't probably to his liking at Newbury. Seven furlongs in a Class New novice race, finished fifth by 4 1/4 lengths, and he just stalked at a very quick pace that day and completely hit the wall. If you want to go by going by American fractional times, like we would go here, like an aqueduct or something like that, they were flying up front early on. And he sat a little bit too close to that pace. They crawled home late. He just didn't like any bit of that. He's the kind of horse that likes to slowly move into the race. They went very slow last time out at Redcar, where they crawled home, but it was on very demanding ground. And also Tyrrell's, you see some tired horses there. But this horse making his real campaign should really improve a lot from his last run. It wouldn't surprise me if he wins. I'll use him on the ticket. I think the five horse Maho Bay for Charlie Alpi Godolphin and William Buick win also. One on debut, from a tracking trip at Kempton over the mile and 3/8 as a 2-year-old back in December, winning by half a dozen lengths. He was much the best. Came back to run over the rolling mile after that Newmarket over the mile and a quarter in a Class 2 novice race, win by 2.5 lengths at even money that day. Again, he was on the drive, but he really excelled. He's drawn a little bit wide here today, which I don't think is so bad. I think he has some early kick. I like that he has a start under his belt. It wouldn't surprise me if he wins first leg of the quad pot. We'll use him there. Even the six-horse Maltese Cross for Tom Marquand. He's another horse. Takes him a little bit of time to get in the stride, but he's bred for this trip through and through. His most recent races, he hasn't been winning by a lot, but he's been getting the job done. He does look like the kind of horse when he gets to the front, he kind of yields himself up. He won twice by a neck and a nose, and then on debut he finished second by a head. Maybe he wants the headgear in the future. That's something to think about with him, for the connections. But he's run terrifically. But like I said, kind of yields before the wire. But I think he has some ability. We'll use him on the ticket. Dare I say I'm not using the O'Brien horse here. But to recap my selection for the 158 now, the third race on Lingfield, it is the Lingfield Derby Trial. Going to take a three-horse Bay of Brilliance. We're going to use the five-horse Maho Bay and the six-horse Maltese Cross. 3, 5, 6 tri-cash trifecta. It was all three of them to begin off this quad pod here, and we'll use them in the place pod also. With that being said, good luck to all, and please follow me on X at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.